Pisces family, hello and welcome to your October 2024 Tarot forecast. I'm Ms. Eden, and Pisces, I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome. This is going to be a general reading for my Pisces sun, moon, and rising signs. Y'all, if you're not sure of your moon or rising sign info, you can do a quick internet search for a birth chart calculator. Or you can, there's plenty of free astrology apps that you can download that information as well, y'all. Pisces, to all the longtime subscribers, welcome back. Thank you all so much for all your love, your likes, subscriptions, and especially your comments. I have really loved hearing from y'all, and it really helps me know how I'm doing too. So thank you all so much for all your love, sending it right back at you. I know we also have some new subscribers joining us, so if we have any new Pisces fam, welcome. So happy you all are here. Know, Pisces, that if you don't catch this message right after I drop this video, that's okay. That's all right, right? There's a divine time kind of way about these things. So know that whenever you're pulled to click on this video, to sit down and watch or listen, that's the right time for you to receive this message. And I do hope that there's something in this message for you, Pisces. All right. I do, y'all, have an Instagram, and actually I'm going to take this moment to plug, after the horrible flooding that we've seen here in the United States, in my home states of the Carolinas. It has really devastated the areas of Appalachia. So I've started a fundraiser on my Instagram page, y'all, for Appalachian Voices, which is a non-for-profit organization based in the Asheville, Western North Carolina region that's providing lots of resources on the ground, real time, right now, to the community and helping them out after these devastating floods after Hurricane Helene. So please, that's my plug for my Instagram. If you guys want to check me out, head on over there, and while you're at it, if you could open your heart and donate, that would mean a lot, y'all. Okay. And please also, if there's any issues with the donation button, I feel like I've had some issues myself when trying to donate, come back here and let me know in the comments. All right, y'all. But definitely let's keep growing that family and spreading the love, sending the love to those who need it, y'all, because there are so many people around the world who are in need. So whatever you can spare, that doesn't also have to always mean money. We can send our energy, our light, our love, to help these areas as well. It does mean a lot. I believe in the power of positive thinking for sure. Pisces, let's talk a little bit about the astrology of October coming into the month. Now, I'm filming this video a tad after our I shouldn't say a full, but our new moon solar eclipse. That was on the 2nd of October. Pardon me. I'm going to, if you don't mind, have some coffee and some water and keep hydrated. I'm very dehydrated, if you can't hear it in my voice from the last few days. I've had a very busy week, so I'm just realizing now, like, gotta hydrate. So pardon me, y'all, while I stay hydrated through this video. So I'm not giving you the scraggliest version of my voice. I'm gonna try and keep it smooth. But Pisces, right, we had last week a new moon in Libra that was also a solar eclipse. All right, so this is highlighting a lot of dynamics within our relationships, and not just romantic relationships. These are relationships with all sorts of individuals, our family, our friends, our community at large, our work family, our work cohorts, bosses, perhaps, our relationship to ourselves, our relationship to the planet, right? So a lot of energy with that eclipse onto how are we doing in all those relationships? Are they balanced? Are we being honest and truthful with these relationship dynamics? And that means going both ways, right? From both parties. This new moon solar eclipse on the 2nd highlighted the nodes, which very quickly, I don't want to take up too much time because I'm going to try and put out a longer astrology video for October. Check that out when it drops, y'all. But the North and South node are really karmic points on our astrological chart. And normally what is only shown is the North node, which right now is in the sign of Aries. Well, the way that you figure out what sign your South node is in is it's the sign that sits directly opposite whatever sign the North Node is on the astrological wheel, okay? So the opposite sign to Aries is Libra. So North Node deals with like, where are we going? What are our goals for karmically that we came into this incarnation with? North Node in Aries, very fiery, creative, but very much of the self and ego as well. Then we have this South Node in Libra, which is all about karmic lessons that we have to learn in this lifetime, right? Like our karmic baggage. And right now with it being in Libra, it's highlighting our baggage that might have to do with our relationships, our truths with those relationships. Are they really in balance? Have they been? Where can we get really honest with ourselves and these people that we're in relationship with about all of that, right? About truth, about balance, and thus bringing it closer and stronger, building a stronger relationship. So all that might have been highlighted for us last week. However, that may have played out for you, beautiful Pisces. Then coming up this week on the 9th, Jupiter stations retrograde in the sign of Gemini. On the 11th of October, Pluto stations direct. It has been retrograde for a while, okay? Because Pluto transits, whether it's through signs of the zodiac or whether it's like a retrograde cycle, they're always pretty long because Pluto, that dwarf planet, is really far out. It moves very slowly, okay? So Pluto is going direct in the sign of Capricorn on the 11th. This is at, I'm going to get a little deep into the charts again for a minute, Pisces, but Pluto is actually at the 29th, or what we call anaretic degree of Capricorn. And there's a lot of these anaretic degrees that are going to be hitting for the larger outer planets as they're transiting within the next year. So this is not going to be the first time you hear me say this about anaretic degrees, but those are the final degrees in a sign when a planet is in a sign before it shifts into the next sign. Okay, so it's like a full moon on pumped up, extra, right? Kind of culminations, wrap-ups, energies, finishing cycles, deep learning that we have to go through, as we wrap up and begin something new. So this is very much going to be a spicy time mid-October for sure. And as I've been saying, if you've been following my other videos, the pace is picking up from here to the end of the year, y'all, and a little bit beyond, but certainly we're in the thick of it. If y'all haven't looked around, checked the news, seen what's happening in the weather, in the world stage around you, it's picking up, okay? It's hard to catch our breaths, I feel like, when we're checking into the news, right? Some of us. So maybe it's better if we find all those, bring those things in with balance as well, because there are going to be so many shifts happening from here to December. All right, fam. Keep watch also next week on those days between the 9th and the 11th, because while Pluto is technically it's in its transition back to being direct, those 2 days technically we will have all the outer planets going in retrograde motion. Or I don't know if motion is the right word, but they will all be retrograde. Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto, all of them retrograde between the 9th and the 11th. And with these planets also stationing, like Jupiter stationing retrograde on the 9th, Pluto stationing direct on the 11th, those days around when they station direct and retrograde always get a little more friction, a little spicier, right? And because we see Jupiter in the sign of Gemini, we might want to watch what we learn, our communication, watch what's said, right? Because this is all about ideas, and Gemini is all about communication and ideas. Jupiter is very much the expander planet, so let's watch what's being said to us around that time. Pluto, again, the planet of power in the sign of that final degree of Capricorn, that anaretic degree of Capricorn, which is also all about power, top down. And we're seeing a lot of liveliness when it comes to power structures that are all top down, power for the few, not for the many. And it's getting a lot of shakeup and a lot of light being shown onto the truth, right, of what's going on in the world around us. So that's mid-month. Start your calendars, mark your calendars. Then we have a very powerful full moon in Aries on the 17th, which, remember those nodal points I was talking about with the north and south node, with our karmic kind of baggage or karmic duties that we have, that we've come into this life with. That's going to be highlighted with this full moon in the sign of Aries. That's on October 17th. So what are we wrapping up? What are we culminating, finalizing with that full moon Aries, full moon energy when it comes to our ego, right? This fiery impulsiveness that maybe is great for inspiring creativity and just creation, but maybe when it comes to how we deal with others, how we navigate in the business world, like too much ego. And again, we're getting away from ego and more into community, right? Like away from top-down power of the few and more into power for the many. So this full moon is really going to highlight that. Expect to see a lot of figures that are big ego players on the world stage, whether they're famous, political, whatever, maybe have some light shown onto that themselves around that time, right? Full moon. The 22nd of October, Scorpio season begins. So then we're into the watery emotional sign of Scorpio on the 22nd. And there's so much more happening this month, y'all. So I really do hope that I can get it together and get out that astrology video for you all. Pisces, thank you so much for rocking with me as I gave you the astrology updates for the energy this month. I do think it's really important as we head into this, I'm sorry, we're not heading in, we're there. We're in this period of great shifts and changes, very rapid, very sudden, very surprising, a lot of truths coming to light. So it's important, y'all, that we stay very grounded. We have our grounding strategies to keep us feeling centered, be very objective with all the news and change that's going and flying around us. You know, be critical thinkers during this time. Try and stay above the fray and don't get so enmeshed, because there will be so many things pulling us down to live in a space of fear over the next few months. But remember, it's got to get worse before it gets better, because we all have to see the truth of what's going on around us. So Pisces loves, let's get into your October forecast. I even have my Grandfather Mountain mug, which is my favorite place in North Carolina, in Western North Carolina. One of my favorite places, Grandfather Mountain, shout out. Always good for a visit, but they are really struggling. And I know doing a lot of wonderful recovery and rescue as well. The people who work there, amazing. Just it's great seeing the community come together. That's that Pluto in Aquarius, which I didn't mention in the astrology. Pluto is moving into Aquarius, and that's all about power to the people. Beautiful to see it in North Carolina, despite it being through such tragic, and Tennessee in the southeast, through such tragic means, right? So anyway, I digress. I'm so sorry. Pisces, here we are into October, and you're all in your head, all in our head about something. We are feeling a little tied up by our mental burdens. What's burdening my Pisces coming into this month? Because you have the power, Pisces, to let yourself free from this mental burden. You haven't literally chained yourself to a wall. It's all up here. You can step forward at any time. Remember that. Whatever's trapping you, it's about a choice you have to make. That's what's going on in your head. And some of my Pisces might be pulling themselves away from people, from their communities for a little while, to find some stillness, some quiet as they suss out this choice, this indecision, really. It's like an indecision that y'all are having between something that's deeply, it's tied into your emotional. Look all that water behind you, of the emotional nature. But you're trying to step out of all that emotional hustle and bustle and just really get to the truth, get to the point, take out all the extraneous information. But in doing so, it seems like you're really tying yourself up in anxiety and worry and fear and trapping yourself. It's not really the kind of productive thought work that you're hoping for right now. So this is, again, the energy that's crossing my Pisces, or surrounding, I like to say. Crossing sounds a little harsh sometimes, but surrounding my Pisces this month. And you might have had some disappointments at the base of this reading this month for my Pisces family. Is the Three of Swords, all about disappointments due to our expectations of certain things. This is not a Cups card. So while, yes, it looks like a heart is breaking, and yes, we can have our heart breaking, it's not really due to like cups, emotions, like deep love. This is about heartbreak due to thinking it's going to be one way, and then it's not. It doesn't meet what we thought it was going to be. Quite the contrary. Maybe you had a quite a shock, right? Now you're like in this, okay, I gotta change gears, shift into a new direction. Which direction is that? You're indecisive about it. All in your head so far, all swords. And you've been doing coming in from the past for past energy. So coming into October for my Pisces family is this Seven of Wands. So it's all about holding our boundaries. But remember, like, you've had the upper ground. And whatever boundary work you've been doing and having to hold against others to maintain your own energy, to protect your own peace, you've had the upper footing, the upper ground in that. But that doesn't mean that those trials and tribulations haven't been coming at my Pisces of late, right? And again, some of that is leading you to disappointment through expectations not being met. You're trying to stand back and look at things from a broader perspective this month, Pisces. This is Three of Wands energy. So this is all about knowing you're on a new path, stepping foot onto the new path, starting to make that journey, and kind of knowing that there's going to be moments where you need to pause, take a look at things objectively, and either know you got to wait for some ships to come in for you to move forward, or you're like sending ships out, right? And thus, again, like kind of needing to wait to hear from them about the progress that they make. So some of my Pisces might be sending out their energy in new ways on new ventures that might be causing a little bit of anxiety and unknowns and fear. New things, unfamiliar territories are always scary. But then others, you might be waiting to hear some news about some energy threads that you've already put out there. And again, with this eclipse cycle, perhaps a lot of you have heard back news with this solar eclipse wrapping up our eclipse season really for this fall, but also it was the final eclipse of 2024. So eclipses always come in pairs. There's always a lunar and a solar eclipse within maybe a month of each other. And it happens twice a year, right? So it's usually kind of spring and fall. Think back to the last eclipse cycle as well, Pisces, to seeds that you planted around April 8th, right? Remember that big solar eclipse we had there? Some of this might be touching back to what has happened for my Pisces starting, that was initiated in that last previous eclipse cycle. Coming up for the future for my Pisces family, Judgment. So this is all about a reawakening, right? Like you're stepping onto a new path. There's a lot of uncertainty and fear, and you're trapping yourself in the head, in the mind, with like, you're not using your mind in the right way because it's locking you in instead of opening you up, because you're stuck in the indecision stage. And it's okay. You don't need to rush. But again, part of this pausing is allowing you to recognize just how much of a reawakening, a rebirth this period is for you. You have a lot of planetary energies in Pisces right now. I believe Saturn and Neptune, your ruling planet, are in Pisces. And so there's a lot of emphasis on our spirituality, getting really serious about our spiritual development, our connections there, balancing our emotional selves, getting stronger with that. So this card is also about coming up in the future for my Pisces mid-late October, all about stepping forward and onto this new path that you're being called on, accepting, again, like getting rid of this energy with the expectations and just accepting yourself and the situation exactly as it is, faults and all. This is about knowing all the good and all the bad. So it seems like my Pisces are learning this month. Good for y'all. A lot of y'all might be learning, having the opportunity to learn that, right? There are lessons that come with disappointment. and expectations not being met. One of the most important ones is kind of simply don't set expectations, because they can be dangerous, y'all. Many times they're not met, and usually the universe always answers your call and wants, but never in the way that you expect. So you just got to drop the expectations. And this is about forgiving yourself for for the past, anything in the past, the good, the bad, the ugly, and just knowing that that was integral to bringing you to where you are today, Pisces family. Absolutely. What a powerful second half of the month this is going to be for you. Like, I feel how powerful you're going to be, because again, like, that's a release of fear also, when you're not allowing those like embarrassing or fear, like things that have brought you discomfort that you hold in your memories, that you're holding in your memory. Maybe a lot of this is memories for y'all. It's stuff coming up and processing, right? We do have both Saturn and Neptune retrograding in your sign. And very soon, I believe Neptune will be at the anaretic degree, like I was talking about, of Pisces. So it's coming up, right? Like you're gonna a lot of deep diving into the emotional well, because Pisces, you are the only water sign that never leaves the emotional water. You're always there swimming around, right? Right, Pisces fam? Here you are right now in a period of rest and restoring, rebalancing. You understand that you got to refill your stores, the star. That's beautiful. Also being seen for your work, you know, like think about like an actual being seen as the star. So you might be getting noticed, being appreciated, right? For whatever you're launching this new path. Like, you know, it takes time. New projects, new creations, they take time to grow. So you're being seen and you're nurturing that. You're nurturing yourself right now, and that's really good. That's going to bring clarity on this indecision, on that Two of Swords energy. Stillness, quiet, without overthinking. When you quiet the mind, again, go somewhere that makes you, you might not do something or go somewhere, or, you know, whatever it is to just bring a little bit of calm, contentment into your energy space, especially your mental space this month, Pisces, because it's in that stillness when you are out taking a walk in nature and you're appreciating the final blooms of the season, or the maple trees that are starting to turn vibrant orange and red and all sorts of beautiful fall colors. Like, live in that moment and really enjoy it, because when you're not overthinking up here, that's when your deeper higher self can come in with the insight. And you'll find that while you're appreciating the foliage of fall, or the final blooms, or the migrating birds, you know, whatever it may be, a good book on a rainy day and in a snuggly bathrobe, a great cup of coffee, yes, whatever that may be, when you're in that moment of appreciation and being present, that's really what it comes down to. Meditation, right? Bringing you that contentment and calmness. That is what is going to allow the space in your mind to bring that clarity. It just pops in. It's amazing how those insights happen. And we always forget that. We always forget that we get our most brilliant ideas when we're doing fun things that we enjoy, right? And a lot of the time that can be like stillness, or bringing an element of being very present into our day-to-day routines. So yeah, they're the star, all about that star, right? Other people are seeing you as really mastering your resources. King of Pentacles this month. Ooh, I love that. Very earthy, very grounded, very solid, very reliable, compassionate, heart-centered, right? I mean, not, you know, it's not a King of Cups energy, but this is a kind, thoughtful, tender king who also is serious about their resources, but is very comfortably set up. So Pisces, again, I think this new path is really, people are seeing that it's really the right path for you. It's going to provide a lot of stability in the physical material world. So this doesn't always mean money, but stability in the material world, our resources. That's a great place to be. So people see you working. This could also, you know, indicate an actual figure a male, old or masculine energy figure, older energy, earth sign. So Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, perhaps in the mix, someone else that you're collabing with, working with this month. Yeah. Your hopes and fears for October are all about some new paths of the heart. So again, these might be passion pursuits, new businesses, new projects that you've launched that you're very heart, like you put your heart and soul into. This doesn't always mean romantic, but for some of my Pisces, perhaps we have some new romantic love entering the scene that you're like you're meeting it with mixed emotions. Again, it's that that 8 of Swords, 2 of Swords, right? Energy that we came in with. You're like all in your head about it. So that's why this is in the hopes and fears. Just lean into it, boo. Suss it out. Like, you've been through enough. You know how to hold your boundaries. I understand why some of us this month, looking at what you've come from, might be hesitant. But for those of you where this is an actual person, like, just explore. It's new heart-centered paths where, like, you can actually have an emotionally filled cup. And maybe for some of you also getting away from like the romantic person interest. But for those of you where your emotional cup is feeling really full at this time, some of y'all are scared you're going to lose that. But listen, life is transition. It's ups and downs. It's the wheel of fortune. It's nothing but change. But that doesn't mean that we can't hold on to tools to make sure that we find ways to keep filling our cup. And I think that's what a lot of my Pisces are doing this month. So trust yourself. Trust that you got it. Don't worry away this period of like, oh, it's feeling so good and I'm so secure and it's really great. I'm feeling very stable, right? Feeling really good. And like my heart's overflowing with how good this is all panning out and how great this is working. And just like, but what when that day comes when the shoe drops, well, just fucking enjoy it. Pisces, for the moment. Like, don't rain on your own parade. Well, like, just you'll go cross that bridge when you get there. You've stabilized enough that hopefully you've brought some good stability and set aside for a rainy day. Because you're right, shit's popping off. It's going crazy right now around the world, and maybe even for a lot of us in our own personal lives, but certainly on the larger scale. So it's always good to like be prepared for a rainy day, right? But don't doubt yourself that like, oh, that when that shoe is going to drop. Just appreciate what you got. Attitude of gratitude, Pisces. Don't get all in your head about it. Final messages for the month. This is interesting. Yeah, so is this, for some of y'all, where that Ace of Cups is representing maybe a person, a heart-centered interest, might be someone from the past, or you might be nostalgic, like some individuals for some of my Pisces might be triggering some nostalgic feelings or bringing back some things. Like, they also loved going to the same places that you loved going to back in the day, and you're like, oh my God, yeah, we have that in common, right? Like, so it's bringing up, there's a lot of nostalgia here that's tapping into your heart energy this month, which, I mean, I'm a nostalgic kind of gal. I love that shit. So that's not always a bad thing, certainly. And it's going to be really important that while you're kind of having these moments of restoring yourself, maybe thinking back to like, oh, remember, I'm feeling more like my older self, right? Like maybe before all the troubles and all the worry and all the whatever started, like that's where we're thinking back to, oh, like maybe I'm feeling, yeah, more like that happy, childlike self again. Maybe someone is also coming into, this could also be someone from the past coming into my Pisces lives this month. It wouldn't be surprising with a lot of these karmic ties, and you have a lot of stuff retrograde, Neptune retrograde in Pisces right now. So yeah, there could be figures from the past popping back up for you that, again, we need a lesson to be learned there about that relationship. But there is some sort of creativity, some sort of wonderful energy that can be harnessed from this nostalgia, this kind of leaning into whatever's bringing you back to the past. You can really seize upon that to create beautiful things, and also tap you very strongly into spirit. Like spirit will be very much alongside my Pisces for the ride and helping y'all out. So don't doubt that. But this queen is all about being in control of her energy, but she's very much the one that everyone looks to when she walks into a room. Okay? She calls your attention. She is very fiery, very passionate, very creative, very spiritual. And again, like, so that energy is coming out in my Pisces this month, kind of in final messages. And it's, again, like connected to something with your resources and stability, because we have this Page of Pentacles. All three of those cards fill out for the final result. Okay? So whatever from the past is going to spark some spiritual, creative connection for a lot of my Pisces. Could also be a feminine fire sign energy, which we got Aries, Sag, and Leo. All right. And it's going to have to revolve around ultimately your resources, maybe this new project, this new endeavor. Yeah, but it's all about, you know, this page is very focused on their resources. And that's where y'all are. Again, like you're launching something new. You've put out the feelers, or you're waiting for word to come back about some stuff that you're a new path that you're walking down. And so it's a very exciting month for my Pisces family. Pisces, definitely let me know in the comments how this reading hit for you. And certainly if you want to come back end of the month to check out as the month progresses and see like, oh man, yeah, like that happened, leave me some comments. Let me know. All right, y'all, in the comments, because I love hearing how these readings hit. And it really helps me know too how I'm doing, because I trust, but it's always good to have that additional confirmation from the fam. So Pisces, have a wonderful October. Sending you so much love. Bye, y'all.